Making ends meet on a low income can be quite difficult for many people. Fortunately, having wealthy parents or a high income is not a prerequisite for being able to get by and accumulate wealth. It is actually quite astonishing how one can get by with only a little bit of strategic planning. And whether you are young and just starting to develop wealth or old and need to find a way to save up more for retirement, you will profit from these 8 frugal living strategies that we are gonna discuss in this video. So, make sure to watch this video till the very end, as each and every point discussed over here can make a huge difference in your financial position once understood and implemented correctly. Number 1. Purchase what is necessary. It is simple to browse Amazon on your phone or computer to purchase a new item of clothing, or to visit Bed Bath & Beyond to find some fantastic new decorations. Can you confidently say yes when asked if you need that brand new article of clothing or those brand new accessories? Consider purchasing a $50 emulsion blender as an illustration. Consider, since purchasing it more than a year ago, you have only used it 3 times. The emulsion blender costs about $16 per usage if you go on with the calculator. To differentiate between what you really need and what you do not can be challenging. Therefore, it is advised to follow the 24-hour guideline whenever you are considering making a purchase. After 24 hours, if you are still craving the product, odds are good that you will actually use it. You will likely be surprised by how much less you will purchase products and how much more money you will be able to save that may be used more wisely. Number 2. Learn to cook. With so many options, it is so much simpler to order takeout than to prepare your own food at home. While $10 to $20 a day is not a big deal for a high-income family, it is definitely not the case for low-income families. There are plenty of restaurants with extensive menus that have tasty items on them, including not only commercial restaurants like McDonald's, Subway, or Taco Bell, restaurants that specialize in unique flavors and dishes from all over the world. Learning how to cook for yourself and sharpen your knives, you can find a ton of tutorials and recipes online that can help you create your favorite takeout meals for a fraction of the price. Plus, they will probably be healthier, and you might even start to like the taste of your own food more because you know exactly what ingredients you will need for your meals. You can be very specific with your grocery list and just purchase what you need. You must learn how to prepare your own meals that will reduce the total amount of your grocery bill to survive on a low budget. Enjoying the video so far? Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. That will surely help the channel a lot. Number 3. Eliminate debt. For example, let us imagine you want to buy a new automobile but do not have the money to do so. So, you take out a loan. Most people are aware that debt is a risky thing to deal with when it comes to finances. But many of us also understand that debt has a sly way to grab people and its talents. This one debt may not seem like a big concern, but imagine that your car breaks down and needs to be fixed. Because you have a loan to repay, you do not have enough cash on hand to pay for the repairs, so you must take out another loan. It is exceedingly tough to live and have a good time because of this debt cycle, which never ends. On a low income, it is crucial to avoid debt as much as you can because doing so will ensure that all of the money you spend comes from your own resources and that you are living within your means. Number 4. Lower transportation expenses. The second largest expense faced by the typical household is transportation. It should come as no surprise that purchasing and operating a car are both expensive. It can be quite challenging to stay up with payments when you have loan payments, gas, insurance, routine maintenance, and emergency repairs. Actually, according to Credit Karma, the average car costs $568 per month. For individuals with higher earnings, this might be possible, but for those with lower incomes, it might be quite difficult. See if you can do without a car entirely as a good place to start. To get to where you need to go, it can be more affordable to walk, cycle, or use public transportation. However, if you absolutely require an automobile for frequent use, think about purchasing a dependable second-hand vehicle. By doing so, you can stop worrying about depreciation and expensive insurance expenses. Likewise, if you are dedicated, a decent second-hand car can last for a very long time, routine servicing, and to maximize reducing your transportation expenditures. Number 5. Calculate spending. Visualize this situation. If this scenario sounds familiar to you, you need to determine where your money is going. You open your mobile banking app to pay some bills, but when you log into your account, you discover that the amount in your checking account is incredibly low. Since it is the only way to know how much money you are spending each month and whether you are living within your means, creating a budget for your income and expenses is beneficial for both people with low and high incomes. But it is especially helpful for low-income families. Fortunately, it is easy to do. First, start by calculating your monthly income. If you have a variable income, such as someone who works for themselves, calculate your average income throughout the course of your business, and then add up all your fixed monthly expenses. These costs include bill payments for things like mortgage, rent, a car, insurance, phone bills, and any other item that is the same each month. After calculating your fixed expenses, add up your variable expenses. This include dining out, food shopping, gas expenses, and other expenses. Once you have calculated all of your income and outgoing costs, you will be able to identify where the majority of your money is going and how to rectify it, making it easier to live on a low income. Number 6. Cut down energy consumption. Energy is one of the commodities that is utilized the most in any individual residence. The vast majority of things that we use in our houses are powered by electrical current. Therefore, it is only natural that one of those big expenses associated with having a low income is energy. There are a number of tiny things you can do to minimize your consumption, which will allow you to continually grow wealth while having a low income, which can be very detrimental when there are high energy bills. During those times, you can do your laundry, run your dishwasher, and adjust the temperature of your thermostat. With a little ingenuity and forethought, you can drastically minimize your energy consumption and pay much less for those expenses. Number 7. Enjoy budget-friendly activities. There are a ton of enjoyable things to do that do not cost much at all. But a lot of people frequently choose the pricey option when socializing with friends. As an illustration, a typical day out with friends would involve eating at a neighboring restaurant, shopping at the neighborhood mall, and getting frozen yogurt. Even while the outing may have been very enjoyable, it might easily cost $75 or more per person. Instead, choose enjoyable hobbies that do not cost money, like playing frisbee with friends in the park, having a picnic at a nearby wildlife conservation area, or if you enjoy dinners, taking turns hosting at different people's homes with everyone bringing their own food and drink. By doing so, you can continue having pleasures mingling with your friends without having to spend a fortune. Number 8. You don't pay to live at your own house. The largest expense anyone can have is a home, so it should not come as a surprise that eliminating this expense can free up a ton of money each month and make living very simple. However, how can you live in your home for free if you still have mortgage to pay? The simplest way to do this is by renting out some of your property to others. For instance, if you have a large home with extra rooms, you could rent out the rooms and use the money to pay your mortgage. Finally, renting out storage space is a great strategy to maximize your property so that you may live for free. Another alternative is to rent out your parking spot. If you get rid of the expense that takes up the most of your income, your life will change for the better, because you will have so much more money available to you to use to build wealth. If you have a low income, getting rid of the expense that takes up the most of your income will change your life. You may have picked up some of the best techniques for frugal living, But there are a lot more tricks, tips, and routines that you should include into your life if you want to live on an extreme low income. If you find it to be something that piques your interest, you might also be interested in some of the other videos that we have. If you found this video entertaining, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so that you will not miss any future uploads. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.